Hello. Welcome to episode 1 of the American Podcast. Yes, the American Podcast. I'm here with Kirk KD. This is APT Clear. We're here to talk about Battlefront and Star Wars and stuff. Just some quick information. I don't know if you guys know, but for the Battle of Jakku DLC that's dropping for people who pre-ordered in a couple days here, December 1st, it's for sure only going to have 2 maps, 1 new game mode, and I think I saw some added customization somewhere. I'm not sure of that, but I'm a little disappointed for the 2 maps. What do you think?
Well, personally, I don't think Battlefront came out with enough content map-wise, because I think part of what made the old Battlefronts great, at least, is the fact that they had so many maps, even though it wasn't, as detailed of a game. The extra maps honestly made it more fun. I mean.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
With the Sarlacc pit.
Because in the old Battlefronts, you couldn't customize your guns. It was just the class you picked, right? Had the gun.
Oh yeah, you just picked your class and you picked your side, and then. But what made it exciting is the maps. There were so many.
Yeah, the strategies.
You could go to any planet, and each map had a different strategy and something different to do.
I am kind of disappointed that with this new game they're only doing Galactic Civil War. It kind of makes sense, to build off the hype from Episode 7. I mean, I can't blame them. They're a company.
But I'm definitely a Clone Wars fan.
Clone Wars, maybe because we grew up more with it, but I
love Obi-Wan and Anakin's young teenage angst. Really gets me every time.
I'm sorry, Master.
He's the whiniest child in
my God.
any movie that is.
I was actually, on the topic of Star Wars movies, I started watching Episode 3 again today. I'm trying to go through most of them, at least, before I see, what's it called, Episode 7. I'm seeing it at the midnight, at least. Kirk Kitty is going with me. And that original action scene, you already know this, but, I wasn't too keen on it. But I started watching more. I'm about a little under halfway. It's been growing on me. The plot stuff with Padme, it's not Padme, but
No, I think Episode 3. I mean, we were arguing about this the other night while we played Battlefront because we're that cool. But one of our other friends, he thinks Episode 5 is the best, which a lot of people do actually.
Yeah.
Critically, I think that was the one that got the highest reviews.
I actually have no idea.
It was most well received, at least. But for me, I do not think. I think Episode 3, because, as Claire was complaining about, the CGI does get a little weak at times. But, come on, story-wise, you have. It's easily the most emotionally deep. I mean, you have.
You're talking about Episode 3?
Yeah, Episode 3. You have. Palpatine reveals himself as who he is.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
Anakin turns to Darth Vader, kills the entire Jedi Order. Mace dies. I know, he doesn't matter a lot, but I love him. Then you have
Mace.
Padme killed, Luke, Leia born, Obi-Wan goes into hiding, becomes a hermit, defeats Anakin becomes Darth Vader. I mean, altogether, Dooku dies, Grievous dies. I mean, it really is the final Big Bang, and I really think actually that's good that they did reverse order with the movies, because the fact that they ended on Episode 3 really made it go out with a bang. Because
Episode 3, I was I just said I was watching some of it. I watched the part with the Palpatine reveal, right?
Oh, you got that far?
Yeah, that was not where they arrest him, but where he pretty much tells him that he's the Sith Lord. At
the opera.
Yeah, yes, just bubble art the Cirque du Soleil, and what I do think is I think they could have made. I don't think it was surprising what happened in the movie. It does carry emotional weight. I'll give you that. It does carry emotional weight. But I think it was too easy to see what would happen. Like Palpatine, okay, you saw the hologram of Sidious, right? And you kind of knew he was going to be an old man. I almost wish that Sidious wore a mask. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but I think part of the reason I mean, again, it's just the order you watch. Personally, I think watching 3 at the end is the best because
Everything comes together. It's the final culmination. It makes you want to watch like 4 again.
Yeah, exactly. You want to see them get redeemed, but I
Yeah.
think that the best part about it is that in episode 3 that they demonstrate that Palpatine and all this, even though we know what's coming, the fact that it we know it's coming because we've seen.
You've seen 4, 5, 6. Yeah.
Because we've seen 4, 5, 6. If we hadn't seen 4, 5, 6, we wouldn't have known what happened, and then it would be a major plot twist. You wouldn't have known. I mean, you wouldn't have known at least Anakin was going to turn.
Yeah. You couldn't. Yeah. Old man. I mean, yeah.
But come on, you wouldn't have known about Anakin. You wouldn't know Obi-Wan killed Anakin. You wouldn't have known about Padme.
Well,
you wouldn't have known about Luke and Leia. I mean, or that all the Jedi are wiped out. So,
yeah, fair enough.
I know. Okay. But either way, we are on Jakku. And somehow you got to there.
Okay, yeah, Jakku. Yeah, I am hyped. I am hyped.
They're not releasing the maps.
Well, yeah. The one thing is they're having the one thing I wish they did, what I'll say is in Battlefield 4, right?
Yes.
They have no, well, aside from that, but they split their maps up into different sizes, right? So there's a Battlefield map, and the Team Deathmatch version is just a portion of that map. Then at least for Battlefield 4, I don't know, they kind of did this, but some of the maps, the Rush map includes more of the map. It's a different section of the map, you know? If let's say you play, there's the whole map for Conquest, you'll play through the back half for Rush, and, outside the map, which I wish they had done that for Walker Assault versus Supremacy. I wish Supremacy was, the whole map, and then you kind of had, a more winding approach through it.
Sure.
I think the problem was they couldn't make them as big because of the 20v20 limit, you know?
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand the limitations, but I feel like Battlefront is a great game. Well, we'll get to that later, but I really do like it.
No, yeah, it's fun.
It's just sad that I'm cycling through Tatooine. What do you call the Black Planet?
Sullust,
and then Hoth, and then Endor.
It is. It's the same exact, and because of the 4 map, rotation, you end up playing.
Which will be broken with
Yeah, because it'll add in that extra one.
It's annoying because like I said earlier, in the old Battlefront, you had not only were they different planets, and you could go to all of them, but they were unique. You had the one with the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, because they in the original Battlefront they had 2 Tatooines. Yeah, they had the Dune Sea.
Yeah, and then you had Hoth, which had the shield generator. I mean, it was little stuff, but it was stuff that made each map distinct. Not to mention they had I don't know. Plus,
I mean, there is a Sarlacc pit in Battlefront. It's just on what's it called? It's in the new Battlefront. It's on the side on the small Tatooine. I don't know if you played on it. If you played Drop Zone, the Dune Sea Exchange, I think it's called. It's it's a little on top, but it's not it's not a central focus that you have to fight around.
It's not. I don't know. I just feel like the old one didn't really. I mean, the old one so long ago had so many maps, and they were big.
The maps they do feel.
Not that small.
Yeah.
These ones I don't think.
They're not. Yeah, all the maps were big.
But it's disappointing that as a Star Wars fan, you want to experience the whole universe.
Yeah.
Right? Not just to select a few planets. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, we just want to fight on Tatooine. And the other part that's kind of bummer for me is it's not even like, maybe it will be when we watch episode 7, but as of now, the places they're selecting, other than Hoth, you know, they don't look like something we've seen before. At least
fair enough. Like Walker, because I suppose you
like in these rocks.
Like, yeah, Tatooine. That was never in the movies. I think.
But it's
yeah.
Like the old ones, you're on Mos Eisley, and then you were in that.
You could for Endor. I mean, you could argue that supremacy on Endor is realistic, because there wasn't. I mean, they didn't technically battle a Walker.
We have to wait for the new movie. It's essentially.
I don't know if Sauce is in there, but yeah, let us know in the comments if it is or not. But what's it called? What was I gonna say? I think I completely lost my train of thought. It was the maps do okay. I was gonna say the maps do feel pretty static, I guess.
Well,
you know,
play them the entire time. I mean,
I think that it's almost like you learn the maps too good. Like on the old Battlefront game, I remember on the Battlefront 1 on PS2, on the one with the Starlight Pit, there was like this one little path that I had played that game for like a solid over 5 years, and like it had taken like 2 or 3 years to discover this one path. Granted, I was a little kid, but it was cool because you had the Jet Trooper, which could like fly up everywhere. That was
for its time, it was pretty.
yeah, there was a lot going on.
Now you look at it, maybe it's clear we're watching the old Samurai Jack Almost Series the other night.
Yeah.
A trailer for.
Oh, Battlefront 2, yes. It looks so.
It's so old looking. It looks terrible, and I remember when that game came out, I thought it looked amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
part of it, it's hard to compare, being that they're so different in their age and their technology. But yeah, for me, I do think the maps is disappointing. But speaking of the new Star Wars, it is The Force Awakens, which is our next current events topic, which is directed by J.J. Abrams, as everyone who's watching this probably knows. So, it's episode 7, going to be really big, obviously, because of the name that's on it.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, will it be good? So, anyway, I watched this review by Matt Singer, who's an editor for SpringCrush.com. It was on CBS this morning, and he said that he is hopeful about Abrams, because he said that, and I'd agree with this, that the Star Trek movies directed felt a lot more like Star Wars movies than they did Star Trek movies.
Yeah.
There's a chance that'll transfer, because if you've ever watched the old Star Wars movies, it's like, or Star Trek movies, it's like watching paint dry.
Oh my God.
During the entire thing.
Like, what is it? I know. One of our other friends like,
From watching Into Darkness to watching that one with
like in.
Picard and the Klingon.
Oh my God. I know. Yes.
It's just bad.
Well, because, yeah, like the new Star Treks, they have fighting, like, the giant starships, like, I guess they do battle in the old movies, but the way they film it, it's more of action than, like, suspense, I guess.
Yeah. No,
and I think, the filming is good. I mean, I don't, like, people always rag on Abrams for the lens flares. I really don't mind the lens flares. I think it's cool. There's already one in the trailer. I think it's going to be a good movie.
Well, he did say to watch out for the hype that he said that the Springer guy said that, or Singer.
Yeah.
That, we were all hyped for Phantom Menace, and then we saw how that's going.
I don't think. Okay, even Phantom Menace nowadays, it's just fodder to make fun of. I mean,
It's not that.
for whatever reason, the CGI in Episode 1, like the pod race scene, looks better than Episode 2 in the Droid Factory.
It's good. It's not bad. I like Episode 1.
I don't think we should be.
One of the better ones. I liked it.
I don't think we should be like afraid of it just because it's like new, Like, yeah, you should be wary of it, but I don't think like he's gonna play it safe. The biggest thing I'm worried about is that it's gonna have like static characters, and that in the original Star Wars movie, right? A New Hope, you have like Han Solo, who kind of changes from being like this like cold as ice, like tough guy who shoots first, to like becoming more human throughout their original trilogy. The same with like Luke just develops into like a hero. I hope that they don't make because a lot of the sci-fi movies nowadays fall in the trap. You know, like the characters don't change. So I want to see them like develop. We know that the black guy Finn becomes he becomes a Jedi. We see him with a lightsaber.
Is he supposed to be the main character in this?
I don't know. I think it's just a combination of him and the girl. I mean, because even
Ray.
Yeah. Because if you look at the old movie, I mean, the group pretty much traveled together. Like Han is pretty much, even though he may not be the protagonist. Poe Dameron, is he the? Yes, the pilot. Yeah. I mean, okay, I am hyped for the X-wing scenes.
See, okay, I'm gonna be the boner of the party. I don't think this movie's gonna live up to the hype.
Really?
I'm excited to see it because like
okay.
We're all going at midnight.
Okay, how can you?
Okay, this is why. Okay.
What?
Off,
What?
like I said, I am a Clone Wars fan. That is where I stand. I think that like
okay.
like the Han was great. He transformed from cocky to like not as much.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
He became a hero, I guess. But for me, that character change that the Galactic Civil War had to offer was so much weaker than what the Clone Wars had to offer.
Okay, what changed? Anakin got whinier?
I mean, Anakin goes from a guy he's very confused and torn to going to he's a Jedi to then going essentially to the Sith. So you have Anakin's change.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me that change is bigger than. I mean, Obi-Wan's static, but I just feel like the first ones had more of those emotional roller coasters with the emotions than Han. Where for me, I guess Anakin's change was less predictable, and it was one that you weren't rooting for as much, because you know what's going to happen to Anakin. You know what he's going to change into.
Yeah.
And the entire time, it's
you don't want to see it happen. Yeah.
Why I still like Episode 3 is just like Shakespeare was known for dramatic irony.
Yeah, tragedies. Yeah.
For those who don't know, it's like what's going to happen before it happens, and even though you know what's going to happen, it still like sucks to watch.
Yeah, it's seeing it play out. Yeah.
You have this person that's hasn't relatively made, and they're relatively good people, and something horrible happens to them, and that's what I think is painful about watching Anakin, even though he's one of really the only strong changing characters in the first 3. I think what makes him so powerful, or what makes that so powerful, so much more powerful than Han. Like Han, we all want him to stop being cocky. And even if I hadn't seen Episode 4, I think I could have guessed that he was probably going to turn out all right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
Luke's going to become the hero. I mean, there's no doubt about that in my mind.
I think, yeah.
He's going to turn out. Anakin, if you hadn't watched the movies or you didn't know the story, you wouldn't know. And even when you do, it's just horrible. Not horrible, but it's painful to watch him go down that path. He's got Obi-Wan, he's got all his friends, he's great people, that's his wife, and he turns into something. He turns into a monster.
Well, yeah, and you can't blame him. I mean, he does it because he wants to, to protect him. Yeah, to protect his family. But he just picks the wrong way. I think, I mean, okay, but either way, you're still arguing that changing characters are what made the movie strong.
No, yeah, well, then back to Force Awakens.
Oh, but okay, yeah.
What I'm worried about, I agree the static characters is a thing. But either way, that's why I like Clone Wars more. But either way, Galactic Civil War, I don't think lends itself, like you said, to the changing characters, because Clone Wars, because it is a tragedy, is what I was trying to get. Because Clone Wars is a tragedy, there has to be change, even if it was just an Anakin. Because Galactic Civil War, if this is the last 3, it's likely not going to be a tragedy. It's likely going to be good. Because that's the case, I think it lends itself less to the change, because you've got Finn and these people. They're likely going to be the heroes. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, they are. They are.
You know what they're going to turn into? They're going to turn into good guys. And I think that detracts from the intensity and the character change. Because if you already know what the character is going to change into, and if it's something good, and you know they're going to be the hero, it's not. I don't think it's an impact.
I know. I see what you're saying. Like, I do agree that I doubt they're going to put in a character change where somebody important to the story becomes evil to set it up for the next movie or just in this movie. I do agree. I agree that is playing it more risky when like, because in episode 3 you know that Anakin's going to turn evil because you have to do it. It's just what happens.
Yeah.
But for episode 7 now, there's no like givens. You don't know that he's going to be evil or someone's going to be evil because they're not. Nothing has come out yet, which means I think they're going to end up playing it safe, which likely means it's going to be, heroes that I don't know how they're going to change because it doesn't really seem like they have. I don't know.
So, I mean,
yeah, I agree. From the trailers, which doesn't offer much, but
the heroes through adversity archetype, where you have these people that are probably not very skilled at whatever they do.
yeah, like he's going to be some. Well, yeah, I mean, okay, we know.
Classic Rocky tale. Like, I know
Yeah.
that guy is probably going to start off. He's going to suck.
The black guys that you're talking about, Finn.
He's going to get trained by Luke. Finn.
Yeah.
He's going to get trained
Yeah.
by Luke or someone, and then he's going to become great.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. We know he's a stormtrooper, or he used to be, and then he's gonna end up being, you're right.
I don't think, and here's my other, this is my biggest issue with why I don't think 7 is going to be what we think it's going to be.
Why not?
Because 7, okay, the issue with 7, I think, is Lucas isn't writing this, right?
Okay, that doesn't. Okay, but fine, fair enough.
But, so he wrote all the others. You have Star Wars. Star Wars as we know it, at least for the fan, the people that, there are the super fans that, Star Wars is just a universe and not whatnot, but there's the main core of people that like Star Wars, I think, know Star Wars because of, what it's been in the past. You have Obi-Wan, you have Luke, you have Han. These are the characters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
And I know that Luke and Han are still going to be in this, but they're not the focus. And I think what's risky about this Star Wars is I think it runs the risk of not feeling like Star Wars.
No, I agree.
And not fitting in with what's been before.
Because
even though
yeah.
they made new characters for the Clone Wars, because technically,
Anakin, Obi-Wan,
old,
yeah.
They're old, but they kind of like made them into kind of different people, obviously.
Yeah, but it's the same, yeah.
I mean, but Yoda was still there. But some of the original characters must be in this one too. But I think what made it different in the first ones is it was a story that was meant to be. Lucas intended that to fit in. Lucas made it so what he wanted to happen, he meant for these 6 movies to occur.
Yeah, fair enough.
He wanted it because we have the story. Essentially, the story follows Anakin, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of how Anakin is a kid, becomes a Jedi, falls to the dark side.
And yeah,
Right, that's the story.
or goes to the light at the end, yeah.
Yeah. That can't be the case here, and that's what worries me. Because all those movies fit together, they were meant to fit, and they worked. But now you have this guy who's writing a completely different story. And, it doesn't mesh with what was meant to be. And I think anytime you do that, you kind of just try to tack on to something at the end, it can be dangerous. And not to mention, like I said, Lucas isn't writing it. And you can be J.J. Abrams and be a great director, whatnot. But this is the most successful movie franchise, it's just the most successful movie franchise.
Well, okay, I don't know if it's the most, but it's...
Everyone knows what it is, though. I mean, Darth
Yeah.
Vader is the most famous villain of all time that's fictional.
Yeah, like yeah, fair enough. It's hugely successful.
To do this, you have to be great, I think. And I don't know if he's up to the task, and I just don't think that this movie will mesh well with what was before it, and I get the sense that I'll leave it feeling like that was entertaining, but it's not Star Wars.
Okay, I agree. I think you're right. I do agree that it's going to have a similar universe, the same universe. It's going to have some recurring characters, but that it's not going to have, because of the characters, it may not feel like Star Wars, which I'm hoping, the Star Wars feel is that you come in, it's kind of like, I don't want to draw comparisons that Star Wars will be like Marvel, but it's kind of like, not the Avengers, but it's like Marvel superhero movies. You expect.
The worst things ever made.
Okay, no, they're not that bad. Oh, fine, different day. But like Captain America. You know he's gonna be like this goody two shoes good guy. You know, Iron Man's gonna be the cocky one. You know, you expect the Hulk to be the Hulk. I think that the problem is like they're not gonna have that consistency of. If they try to make characters that appear too similar, they can run the risk of it being a copycat, you know?
Yeah, where you're essentially having Luke reborn.
Which is, I don't want them to put in, like, I'm fine with Han being in this, you know, that's fine. Put him in, but, you know, it's not like he's rich enough already, but I don't want him to be, because they're going to make an 8-9. They're going to make an 8-9, guaranteed. Unless this can... That's what I'm saying, is I don't want... But fair enough. What I'm saying is I don't want him to be in every movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Aside from feeling forced, let some new characters take it, you know? Like, I think they need to show that Star Wars isn't the movies, you know? That Star Wars is like a universe, which is hard to show. Like, I think...
I think, although if they take out Han, Luke, and Leia, then it runs the risk of going away. Of being Star Wars.
Feeling just like some sci-fi movie.
Yeah, I think it'll just feel like, oh, this is cool, but, I mean, the characters would just be, no one would be left. There'd be no, other than, okay, what, R2?
Here, okay, what I think they need to do is, I think they need to make it so that this new trilogy, okay, is Star Wars, but it's not the Star Wars saga. I think calling it episodes, because it's not called Episode 7, it's called The Force Awakens, right?
Well, I do think it can consider it Episode 7.
But it is chronologically, but I think it was smart not to call it Episode 7, because I think they need to make, I hope they make 6 movies, okay? Somehow, out of this. And I hope they make a saga that's comparable to the original, like, both original trilogies. I hope that they make something where you can compare the whatever you want to call this, like the double sequels or something. Like there's the original trilogy, the sequels, and the prequels. Sure. I hope that they make it where you can compare it to those two, and that someone can argue, oh well, you know, 7, 8, 9. Well, it may not have the same characters, but it's strong enough to be the same thing. You know, I hope that's. Oh, yeah. I want that to happen, and I'm worried that it's gonna feel like I don't want flashy action to be the meat of the movie, you know.
Sure. Yeah.
I want there to be some drama and stuff, you know.
Well, because the issue, as we've seen with Episode 3, with flashy action, is it dies. I mean.
Yeah, like once you see it.
What really survives. I mean, I think 3 has a very strong story, but I think that's what makes 3 enduring. And that's what makes all of them enduring, not the, well, look at how cool this is. This is, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let's show our CGI skills. Like, I don't know, for me, 7, I just think, I don't know. For me, it's going to be very hard to watch it and not see, I mean, my favorite character is Obi-Wan. And it's going to be very hard for me to watch it and not see, not only him, but, you know, Yoda. I mean, this will be the first one without Yoda. First one without Obi-Wan. First one without an Anakin character. First one without Palpatine.
But see, I think that's a good thing. What I'm saying is like that last saga has its own characters, its own storyline. The epic hero is Anakin, you know. He may not always be the protagonist, but he is the hero overall.
Yeah.
I want this new movie to be something new. I'm glad it doesn't take many parallels. I want it to be like, yes, it has characters that are similar. Or like, you know, the same is what I mean. Like Leia. You know Leia's in it. We've seen her in the shot in the trailer. Han, Chewie. They'll probably throw in Lando somehow.
I hope not.
Lando. I hope that it doesn't have plot ties. I hope they don't try to bring in some plot or like some admiral from Episode 6, some minor character is now big. I don't want that to happen. I hope I want it to be where, like, this new trilogy and hopefully saga that they get 6 movies is its own thing with its own characters. And that what they can do is they can just keep... I hope that they, 50 years from now or even more, we have, like, in 100 years, we have, like, 3 or 4 Star Wars, like, sagas where it's completely different characters, different parts of the galaxy,
Yeah, I see.
but it's still, like, where each one is its own contained story. You know what I'm saying? Where it's not it's not a reboot. I'm glad they didn't make Episode 7 some, like, super bad reboot. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that was.
It's its own characters. I'm glad it's something new, but I am worried.
I mean, for me, it's just I know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Or I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna walk in the movie theater, sit down. I'm gonna enjoy it, but.
Okay, don't say that. You're gonna be so hyped.
Okay, yes, I'm gonna be hyped, and I'm gonna be acting like bizarre. I'll be so excited, jumping out of the seats. But like, what's gonna happen is though, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna be really hyped about it. I'm gonna watch it. I'll leave really hyped about it because we'll be talking about it. But I know that I'll be sad because I know that to me,
Like,
it's gonna feel off.
Star Wars is dead, like the old one.
Like, well, yeah, because I mean, for me, I really like movies for their characters.
Yeah, yeah. Fair enough.
And even Anakin's like, he's a turd.
He's a cool character to look at, you know.
He's a character. Exactly, he's fun to watch.
Like,
because
yeah.
Whether he's being a whiny little kid,
Or like Darth Vader.
Or Darth Vader, he's interesting.
Yeah, you may not always like him, but he's cool.
He's what we know. He's what we know. His story is what we know.
Mm-hmm.
And having something else, to me, it'll just feel weird. I'll feel like it's, like I said, I feel like I won't be Star Wars, and then I'll watch it and I'll be bummed out, and then just go enjoying the movie because I'm just gonna be pessimistic. But hopefully I am impressed. But it's hard to do. But there is a theory. I was also looking this up.
What? Is it that? No, okay. We know, okay, I'll give you two responses to this. I looked it up online. We know the actor for Kylo Ren, the villain. We've seen his face. I forget who it is, but it's not Luke.
I think
It's for sure, because you can see his black hair.
Kylo Ren is gonna be Luke's
Yes, no, people, I saw that online on, like, Reddit, too, that people think that...
Like, because the cave scenes that people were citing that, like, Yoda told him, don't leave, you're going to go to the dark side, and then he leaves and goes to Bespin to save Leia and Han and Chewie. And
well,
people
think, or I've seen, like, theories that, that somehow Finn or Rey, not Finn, Rey or, like Kylo Ren are somehow related to Luke or something like that, which, because we don't have a last name for them, which I kind of hope that, they're not. I want it to be something new. But
people also think that Kylo Ren is like Han's son.
I don't know. But another thing I saw was, it was for Luke. I think it was Abrams, or like the screenwriter that said it, but they said some quote that by the end of the movie, Luke would have...
I have it right.
Is it that Luke would appear like either strongly good or strongly bad? Is that the quote you have?
No, it says, I saw that too. This is April.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that too, which I'm always interested in seeing people's theories. But what will be cool is when people finally see the movie and see what it really is. Hopefully some people will say, oh, I was right. And other people will be like, alright, but that's what you want. You want people to be debating things before the movie even comes out. It's the dream. So not even any insight there. But I mean,
I think I want Luke to be bad. Well, okay, here's the problem. Is Luke...
I want him to, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. Luke, I think it'd be cool. Well, okay, here's what I don't want to happen.
If you look at him now, though, his face...
After the plastic surgery.
It's strikingly similar to Palpatine's.
Okay. What I don't want to happen is that I don't want... Okay. I don't want it to be where Luke, right, turns evil by the end of the movie, and then, like, in, like, the next movie, Episode 8 or Episode 9, it, like, culminates in some battle between, like, Rey or Finn and Luke in, like, some battle, but then Luke ends up being good. Like in the Avengers 2. You saw Age of Ultron, right?
I did not watch it.
Okay, well, the Hulk battles the Hulkbuster suit with Iron Man, right?
Yeah.
It's not to say a pointless battle, but it's a battle for the sake of action. You know what's going to happen, even if you've never seen the movie. You know that they're going to end up teaming up in the end. Which I don't want it to be that where, like, Luke turns evil just so you can have that in the trailer, like Luke and Finn battling, you know? If he's going to be bad, have him be bad. I think it would be kind of destructive to your original image, but I also think that's why we have to consider this a new trilogy. If Luke's evil in this trilogy, that's one reason you may like it or may not like it. I think that we have to understand this is different.
No, yeah, I agree, but I think what I don't want to happen, I don't really care so much as if Luke was good or bad. I think it'd be sad if he was bad, but interesting.
Yeah, to see how he goes.
If he's good, it won't be interesting, but, we're all happy because we love a good ending. It's just episode 6.
Humans,
it's kind of me to think that, oh, great, Luke goes off and evil. But what I don't want to happen is like what you said, where Luke goes, he turns bad, and then he comes back and turns good. Because that's just the same story as Darth Vader. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. He's this powerful guy that can fly planes, then he turns good, then he turns bad, and then he turns good again. You know what I mean? That's stupid.
I think it would be cool if Luke maybe doesn't get, because I've seen some of the screenshots, and I think I read somewhere that he's going to be like, not like an outcast, or he's outcast himself somehow, which I kind of think that'd be cool if they play him off to be what I would hope to see. Is where he's still a Jedi, he has his lightsaber and stuff, but where he's not actually, like where he doesn't turn to become a Sith, not something like that, and he doesn't like come back to the Jedi, but where his position is that like he's kind of like Han in the beginning of Episode 4, he just doesn't care. Like he doesn't care about this new conflict about, between the,
yeah, that would...
I think it'd be cool if he's just like apathetic towards the conflict in general, like he just doesn't care, and maybe he ends up being like, and I would hate to see him like, okay, it's tough to go that, because I don't want to see him walk away from the series, but I don't want to see him just turn back to turn back to caring like Han. I think it'd be cool if it ends up being where, like, he doesn't care, maybe he helps out Finn and Rey, once, but then is like, this just isn't for me, and we just see Luke walk away, and that's his character. They don't bring him back for some Episode 8 or Episode 9. He's just gone, and that's it. He played his part.
But I think the likelihood of that happening...
I agree. They're going to put him into some main character or something like that.
He's going to be the coach. It's like Obi-Wan was. He might die. I could see him dying, to be honest.
That could be...
Just like Obi-Wan, but I don't think they're going to have it where Luke gets pissed and leaves. Like, he's either going to... For me, I think he's either going to be the good guy, that's kind of like the hero at the beginning, he's kind of like the coach, like Obi-Wan was, or he's going to be bad. One or the other. But I think the likelihood of him just being, like, hermit and, like, leaving is slim.
One thing I do think will be cool is if he is the coach, but... if he's like I said, like the apathetic coach. I don't know what movies this, if you can think of an example while I'm talking about this, but like, oh, that's awkward. He just cut out. Let me fix this problem. Sorry for your viewers. Let me solve this. Okay, and we're back. Kurt Kitty is just, a little technical difficulties there. Okay, so I was talking about how I think it'd be cool if Luke, they kind of have to convince him to help them,
Yeah.
Like he kind of doesn't care at first, and maybe after he helps them, he just kind of goes back. But like I don't want him to. All I'm saying is I don't want him to become a big part of the story. That's pretty much about it.
I mean, for me, from what I've watched from the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I've only watched the second one. I haven't watched the third one. I thought I watched the third one today, and it was the second one. But either way.
Yeah.
From what it showed, I don't think he's going to be... I don't think it's going to be like that. I think Luke is going to have a fairly formidable role in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and I don't think he's going to be that guy that doesn't care. Because if you listen to his talking, he doesn't sound like exactly...
Well, he obviously sounds like he's talking to someone who has the Force. Because he says, you have it too.
Yeah, so it's obvious. We know he's not talking to Leia.
He's probably talking to...
Like a
Yeah.
when it comes to the Force. And then, so it's not going to be Kylo Ren.
It's Finn or Rey. It's got to be.
Yeah, exactly. It is. And so...
Which means he's probably mentoring them. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair point. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
You know what I mean? And it's a very... If you listen to his voice, like, this might be getting too deep, but, like, it's a warm voice.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. He's like, you have it too. Yeah.
The music accompaniment that's like, you know, that obviously helps give it the warm feeling, but he's just like, what does he say? He's like,
Yeah, I have the Force. Yeah, you have, and now you have it too.
Or something. You have it too. Or something.
Which means...
So here's my theory. This is why I think it's either going to be Luke's good and he's the coach, like Obi-Wan, or he's going to be the bad guy, because I could also see him doing that as a sort of Lord Vader, let's talk before I kill you thing. Darth Vader did that a lot.
Fair enough, the monologuer.
You have, like...
You could join me and rule the world.
Yeah, join me. He's like, you all feel strong in the Force and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
I think...
The dark side tends to dish out a lot of compliments to people before they kill them. So I think...
okay. I don't think he's going to be a... I think what's going to happen is he's probably going to be the one who, like... We don't see Rey having a lightsaber in the poster. She only has her staff, which I kind of hope she doesn't end up with, like, maybe not necessarily the Force, but I hope she doesn't end up like a lightsaber, you know, like every hero in the series. Or not every hero, but, like, except for, like, Han, you know.
Han is going to end up being the most useless part.
I know, he's so old. It's...
Because he's old, and he's only, like, now Luke can use the Force, Leia can, and Chewbacca's a... So it's like, then you have Han, who what can he do? Like,
I think it's probably going to end up being... Luke is talking to, like, Finn, who we see with the lightsaber, about how he is the Force.
Yeah. No,
I mean, here's the thing. It could end up where, like, we don't see, in the one battle shot we see Poe Dameron looking at, Finn. You may not have seen this shot, but it's like a shot of... There's, like, a battle you can clearly see happening with, like, some X-Wings going across a lake towards some Imperials, okay?
No, yeah.
In all the trailers. There's a part of a trailer which we assume happens right before that, where he, like, looks at, Finn. Poe Dameron looks at Finn. Finn's holding a blaster, which means this is after he's joined the rebellion, so after, like, the first act of him being on Jakku, you know, with Rey.
Sure.
I'm kind of almost... I think maybe Finn isn't a Jedi. Maybe Finn can't use the Force.
No,
but he just has a lightsaber. Like, that'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Maybe he just has a lightsaber.
I mean, to me, I think he's going to be... If he's going to be the main character, then he is going to be able to use the Force. I think what they're going to do...
What? What do you think?
I could be wrong with this, but I think what they're going to do is they're going to have Finn be Luke, Poe Dameron be Han, and Rey be Leia.
I don't think... Well, because Leia is a pretty... She was like an active heroine. How do you pronounce that word?
Yeah, she was active. I mean,
like she didn't just sit and do nothing. She shot her blasters.
Oh yeah, and Han, Han, like Poe's the pilot. He's the guy that's kind of like, oh yeah, look, I'm so great. And then you have the Jedi.
The thing that I like though is I like how Poe is separate from the group. I hope I like the pilot aesthetic, you know, like a bunch of pilots together. I don't know why I like it so much, but I do.
A.T. Clear's a big fan of the flashy action, even though he says that's not what he watches movies for.
The flashy action? Oh, action. Action. Yeah, I am. Yeah.
He liked Pacific Rim.
Okay, that would be so cool. Okay, either way. Star Wars. Poe Dameron. I hope they kind of flesh out, like, the aesthetic of, like, the pilots group. I don't want Poe Dameron to become best friends with Finn, Rey. I wish what happens, because it looks like in all the battles, he's, like, flying above, which I kind of hope that he's, like, they're both fighting for it's not even called the Rebel Alliance. I don't know if you know this, but it's called the Resistance. The Rebels are now called the Resistance.
Just dumb.
And the Empire is now called the First Order, which the First Order kind of makes sense.
No, it's just lame. It's like, why do you have to rename
Okay,
the Empire?
either way.
Like, they are what they are.
I wish that... I think it'd be cool if, like, him and Finn maybe like kind of talk and have an understanding, but I don't want it to be where Poe Dameron's following Finn around, you know, like Han kind of follows around. I don't think so, because in all the battles he's flying above.
I know, but so is Han. I mean, Luke and Han rarely are fighting side by side.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yes, actually that's a no. They usually are, but I'm saying, like for me, like Poe is like Han. He's the air support. He's the guy that, yeah, you can't use a lightsaber, but
What I'm saying is I want it to be in the movie, or at least not that I want it to be, but I think it would be cool. I think it would be what I'm looking for if Poe Dameron is he doesn't necessarily directly interact with the heroes too much. I think it'd be cool if he's kind of like there's his story of him like piloting around and flying, and then there's like the hero Finn, and then there's like Rey. You know what I'm saying? I think it'd be cool if they kind of split it up to where it's multiple stories and they all intertwine in the same battles, but they're not necessarily all together at the same time. You know, like kind of like how Episode 3 did it, where there's multiple stories going on.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that would be cool, but
You're just not feeling it?
I don't know. For me, this movie screams dangerous to me because of something I read online today. Also, I mean, I think that they could, like I said, like they could just do like the Han, Leia, Luke, where that's.
Oh, I know. They probably will.
You know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
And then, to be honest, I wouldn't care because I like one of the things I did like about the Awakens movies, even though I'm a Clone Wars fan, is the fact that there was the tight group. I mean, in the Clone Wars, you had kind of Anakin and Obi-Wan, and yeah, there was definitely other characters, but they weren't really a group per se. You know what I mean? They didn't have that camaraderie that like, you know, that Han, Luke, and Leia, and Chewie, and R2 and 3PO are all like friends. And for me, Clone Wars is kind of like Obi-Wan and Anakin are friends, and then there's these other people that are around that are cool, but they're not like part of that inner circle. You know what I mean? So that's one thing I did like about Galactus Clone Wars. So I wouldn't mind if that was the case here. But what does bother me is you were bringing this up earlier, the renaming of things. That's just stupid. The First Order,
Okay. How about this?
You know what I mean? And then here's the other thing. Did you know that they're making this other machine in this called like the Star Killer?
Yes.
That's like the new Death Star that's like supposedly better. To me, that screams this is wow, like watch out. Because to me that just does not sound good. That sounds like Rocky 6, where it's like it's been the same story for 6 movies and it's gonna be the same one again. Except it works. You know what I mean?
No, I think that the Star Killer thing.
It's dumb.
I think
okay. Something new, though. You even said you wanted something new, like where it's like it's not gonna be like 4, 5, and 6. It's gonna be its own thing. Okay, when they have the Death Star as the main space, essentially the main space station in this, you know it's gonna be somewhat similar.
But okay, the thing. Okay, I'll tell you this. Here's some of the similarities. It's why. Okay, the similarities don't bother me. That the fact that it's the First Order. We know that the old Sith leadership, Palpatine, Vader, is deposed, right? It's Nuke, it's Kylo Ren, and whatever special stuff he has. I think it's forgivable and understandable that's called the First Order because Kylo Ren wants to remake it in his image. He doesn't want it to be the Empire with Palpatine. It's his Sith Empire. I think it was dumb renaming the Rebellion, the Resistance. Like, literally, Leia and Han are still part of it. Like, why rename
Are
it?
they the Resistance anymore if they're in command? You know what I mean? Like, if they're the leaders of the galaxy, how are they? I mean, maybe they're not, but I assume they are. Because I assume, like, Kylo Ren's kind of rising in the shadows, is how I'm taking this.
I think it's going to end up being where where Kylo Ren seized power quickly. You know, like, he was like the snake's head that regrew after it was cut off with Palpatine killing. What else was I going to say? The Death Star thing. Talk about the similarities with that. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't appear that they're going to be fighting inside it. It appears that Okay, how
They're
about...
gonna blow it up. They're going to have to blow it up.
Yes.
They are.
No, I'm not debating that, but I think that having a big weapon like that creates a sense of urgency where it's like, if we don't pull this off,
I know, but
we're gonna die.
it's not that it's a big weapon that bothers me. It's that it's the same weapon. It's
Well,
that it's
okay,
a
we
strong
don't we
weapon.
don't know. We don't know.
It's that okay.
They said it said SAR systems. Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, maybe it can like wipe out the galaxy. Who cares? The point is, it does the same thing as the Death Star. It kills a lot of people with a big laser. I mean, you know what I mean? Or maybe it's not even a laser. But for me, that's just dangerous because for me, it's tacky. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, here's an example.
Like playing it
Anyone
safe.
that's ever played with Legos when they're little, right? We've all played with Legos. So when I was little, I played with Legos, right? And they were great.
I was there.
I wanted, yes. Well, we still do play with Legos. It's just so some dorky we are. But
I'm not putting that in the video.
Then, but then when I was little, I was really into knights and stuff. So I went to the store one day and I saw this thing, this King Arthur set, which was like cool. But it wasn't Legos, it was Mega Bloks, which is essentially Legos, but with cheap plastic. And I got them, and they were the exact same function. They looked the exact same, except they sucked. They didn't go together. They fell apart, and that's what I feel like this is gonna be. It's like, or it could be. I shouldn't. Like, I'm being too harsh on this. I think it's gonna be a good movie. I really do, but I think it's not gonna be what we expect.
Okay, I'm glad that they have a lot of the similarities with the character like classes and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Because like the archetypes, there we go, word I'm looking for. I like that because that kind of gives it a it'll introduce us into this new universe, but be familiar. We know, okay, he's the cocky one. He's like the protagonist, you know.
No, yeah.
I think that it sets up like where it's an easy way to get introduced to these characters and who they are.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, that's yeah.
For me, it's just, I don't know. I just worry. It's such a big thing to follow up. It's so hard to follow it up. It's almost too big of a task. You know what I mean? And it's almost too good to be true that they're making another one. And
I think overall,
I'm just worried that it's not gonna live up to my expectations, and I'm gonna leave feeling, you know, like, yeah, that was good, but it's, I don't know.
okay, I think we're excited it's coming out. I think that's pretty much all you had. That's all I had? Is that all you had?
Yeah, I had another comment, but it slipped my mind. I can't.
Well, we'll be on it.
I guess it'd be cool. The other thing I have to say is it'd be cool if Palpatine somehow came back. Don't think it's gonna happen, but it happened.
As like some like super like weak like person. That'd be kind of cool if he kind of ends up being a mentor somehow.
Back if he's the one that kind of created Kylo Ren.
I don't know if I like that. Either way, that's another pie. We're gonna probably do this again. Comment if there's anything you want us to talk about. If you like this kind of thing we're doing, like, maybe subscribe.
Leave comments because if we have questions.
Yeah, we'll try to do one kind of this size each week, and maybe a longer one.
Every month.
Every month or a couple weeks. But I hope you like it, and we'll see you guys next time.